Hello everybody. Today I'm going to talk about the ATM problem again, but this time I'm going to use another approach. I will still use a do-while loop, but using a different style from the one that I had used previously. Welcome to listen, and I hope you understand. So for the flowchart, we could say start, then you initialize the correct pin, and then you initialize a certain variable, let's say attempts, and in this particular scenario I want to initialize it to 0. Okay, and then I'm going to tell the user to enter the pin. Once the user enters the pin, I'm going to save that pin in my variable, which I have called entered pin, and then I'm going to check the condition. Is this entered pin equal to the correct pin? If no, I'm going to increment my variable, and then I'm going to check, has that variable exceeded, is it less than 3? If yes, I'm going to loop again. Okay, if yes, I'm going to loop again, right? So whenever that variable is still below 3, I'm going back, you see, I'm going back to loop again, you see, and so on and so forth. I'm going back to tell the user to enter the pin again, I'm saving it again, I am checking it. Is this pin equal to the correct pin? If no, I increment my variable, and then I check, is it still below 3? I go back to loop again, and so on and so forth. So you will see that my condition is attempts is less than 3. I did not say attempt is less or equal to 3. I only put attempt is less than 3. Why? Because here I had initialized attempts to start at 0. Okay, so if you initialize attempts to start at 0, then here you have to put less than 3. You have to put less than 3, not less or equal. You can try that and you will see that less than 3 is the one that will work. Okay, all right. If you put less or equal, you are going to get 4 retries, but we don't want 4 retries, we want only 3 retries. So less than 3 is the one that will work. Okay, so here is the real thing that I want to see, that I want you to see in this new approach. Okay, if the user enters the pin that is equal to the correct pin, you see, if the entered pin is equal to the correct pin, if yes, we are going to display access granted, you see, and once we display access granted, we no longer need to continue looping. Okay, so once we have displayed access granted, we are going to terminate the loop immediately, because there is no need. The user already got the correct pin. You get my point? So there is no need to keep on with the loop. So we're going to terminate it immediately. We're going to use break. This break here is a statement that terminates the loop on the spot. Okay. Now remember, whenever the loop terminates, execution will continue outside the body of the loop. Are we together, guys? So where is your loop? Here is your loop. This is your loop. This one here. Okay. You see? The whole of this is your loop. Can you see it? So whenever the loop terminates, execution will continue outside the body of the loop. You get my point? So when we execute this break here, execution will continue this path. Okay? Execution will continue this path. And then when we come outside here, what do we want to do? When we come outside here, what do we want to do? We are going to check a condition. We are going to check a condition. What is that condition? This is the condition. Is the value of attempts greater than or equal to 3? If so, we are going to display card retain retry limit exceeded. But if not so, we just want to end our program. We just want to end our program. Now you can ask yourself, what is the importance of this condition? This condition is very important because, remember, the loop can terminate due to two things. Either the user may have gotten the correct PIN, and so we displayed access granted, and then we terminated the loop. Or the loop might have terminated because the value of attempts is no longer below 3. You get my point? So there are two things. The loop might have terminated either due to the user getting the PIN correct, and so we followed this path and came here, and then when we executed this, the loop got terminated. Or the loop might have terminated just because the value of attempts is no longer below 3. You get my point? So that is why when you come outside the loop, whenever you come outside of the loop, you have to check this condition. You can't display directly this method. Okay? You just can't go ahead and display this message directly. No. You have to check this condition that, okay, I am outside the loop. The loop is no longer there. The loop has terminated. Okay, why did the loop terminate? How did I reach here? You check. Did I reach here because the value of attempts is above, is equal or above 3? If it is so, then I want to display this message. But if not so, then I know, I am here simply because at a certain point, the user got the PIN correct. And so I followed this path, and then this path, and that is how I arrived here. And so at that point, you don't want to do anything. You just want the program to end. You get my point? And so for the implementation part, it means it is going to be something like this. You're going to initialize the correct PIN, then you're going to initialize the attempts, and then again you're going to declare the variable called entered PIN. Again, you can see we are declaring it outside the do brackets simply because maybe at a certain point you might want to use it below. Okay, so you can declare it outside the do brackets. Although here I did not even use it below, so even if you wanted to declare it inside the do brackets, it would still work. Okay, so let me just declare it inside the do brackets. Okay, all right, and then in the do, we are telling the user to enter the PIN. And then as you can see, whenever the user enters the PIN, we save it. And then we check, is the entered PIN equal to the correct one? If so, we are going to display access granted and then immediately stop the loop. Okay, we no longer need the loop at that point because we got it right, it's done, we are off. Okay, but if the user did not get the PIN right, then you're going to come to this part, you're going to increment attempts, you see, and then you're going to check the condition. Whenever the condition is true, you're going to come back here and tell the user again to enter the PIN, and so on and so forth. You get my point? Then once the loop terminates, you have to check, how did we get here? Is it because this is no longer less than 3? If it is so, then you're going to display what? This message. But if it is not so, you just want the program to end, simply because you just know, if this is not the case, then you know, at a certain point the user got it right, and then that is how the loop got terminated. You get my point? Yeah. So this is what I wanted to show you, and you can see this program is actually going to work perfect. So if the user gets it right at any point, we are going to display the message and the loop will stop. Okay, the loop will stop simply because we used break. You get my point? And you can try missing it maybe. So you can miss, and you can see it is working perfect. Okay, yeah. So somebody can ask, sir, is this statement really important? Yes, break is very important. If you want, you can try by yourself. Go ahead and remove it, and you will see how your program will behave. Okay, and then you will discover how important this part is in this particular solution. Okay, all right. Now there is a mistake people make. Let me show you. When they are drawing their flowcharts, there is a mistake most of students make. You see, there are students, when they reach this part, when the loop terminates, you see, when the loop terminates, immediately they just display card retained, retry limit exceeded. Now this is wrong. This is wrong, guys. When the loop terminates, you can't immediately display card retained, retry limit exceeded. Do you know why? Because the loop might have stopped because the user got it correct. So it is not good here. The loop has stopped and then you just display this. It will be wrong. In fact, if you do that, if your flowchart is like this, it means you're going to get two messages. If the user enters the correct PIN, you're going to get two messages. You're going to get this message here, and then you're going to terminate the loop, and the loop, and when the loop is terminated, let me show you here. Let me show you here. You see, whenever the loop terminates, you see, whenever the loop terminates, execution will continue outside the body of the loop. So you can see, here is the loop, here is your loop. So if the loop terminates, execution will continue outside. It will continue outside, you see. So if we terminate the loop here using break, it means execution is going to proceed here at this point. Can you see that? Execution is going to continue at this point. So it means you already displayed this message, access granted, simply because the user got it right. And then after displaying this message, you terminate the loop, and then immediately you had put your display here. Can you see? So it means you're going to get the first message, access granted, and then when the loop terminates, immediately you had displayed what? This other message. So you're going to get another message again. You get my point? So that's why I'm saying this is a wrong flowchart. Okay? This is a wrong flowchart. In fact, if you want to see, let me show you. It means immediately when the loop terminates, okay? It means immediately when the loop terminates, outside the body of the loop is where execution will continue after the loop has terminated. And then immediately you're displaying this. You get my point? So this is wrong, because if you run this, you see, and the user gets it right, you see, he will get two messages. He will get a message saying access granted, and he will get another message saying card retained, retry limit exceeded. You see, this is wrong. This is wrong. So that's why, guys, you have to remember that when the loop terminates, in this particular solution that we are developing, it will be important to first of all check the condition. Okay, check the condition. Why are we here? How did we get here? Did we get here because the value of attempts went beyond the allowed value, or did we get here because the user got it right? And so if the value of attempts was beyond the allowed value, then at that particular point is when you want to see this message. Okay, so take care, guys. That is very, very important. So the correct flowchart is whenever you are, according to this program, okay, according to this program that we are developing, the correct flowchart is when the loop terminates, we have to check the condition before we decide whether to display this message. Okay, you can't just display the message directly. No. We will have first of all to check this condition before to decide whether to display this message or not to display that message. Okay, yeah, so that is very, very important. Thank you for listening. I wish you all the best. Practice, okay, try it out. Yeah, if there are any questions, please post the question, and then I will try to respond, or even your colleagues may try to respond. Thank you very much. All the best.